This is Twit.
This last week, YouTube has changed quite a bit. What are some of the things that have changed, Lamarr?
Yeah, so there was this process that started a couple years ago, and we were kind of warned about it, that YouTube and Google Plus are going to eventually merge, and they've been doing it in stages. They warned us about this a couple weeks ago. Say, hey, comments are going to get better, and you'll be able to see more of what you care about on the top. Get ready for it. Make sure you have your Google Plus page. 99% of us ignored it, and so it came as a surprise. I believe it was Wednesday or Thursday where the merge happened, and people panicked because now they're forced to get a Google Plus page, and they hate Google Plus, and how dare Google combine something that they own with something else they own. And it's just been a lot of chaos on the web, where even sites like Forbes magazine or Business Insider are writing about it, which I think it definitely tells you something about the reach of YouTube. This is definitely a big deal.
iJustine, you did a great simile on what it is like commenting from Google Plus. Just go ahead and say that, because I want to hear it from your mouth. You did it in the video. It's like you're using one site versus another.
It's like Twitter saying, all right, cool, I'm glad you guys are having a great time tweeting, but now we're going to have you now tweet from Pinterest. So log in, combine your Pinterest. But to do this all, you need to go to Pinterest and to tweet. I don't know. It's weird because I've been using it for so long that I'm so used to it that it made absolutely no difference for a lot of the creators who had the heads up and who already did it. So it really wasn't that big of a deal for many of us.
Yeah, we'd all moved over to Google Plus, right?
Yeah. Yeah, right. I moved over like right away with this, so it was an easier transition. And I got to say, we're definitely going to break down a lot of it, but in general, I really felt like things got better for me right away, because I have a lot of followers that I had on there, and then so combining those in the comments tripled on my Friday video. Interaction was crazy on Google Plus, and I think one of the problems is that. I don't want to go too far ahead, but I think one of the problems is that people who never touch Google Plus now had this thing of, now I got to learn this and the comments. Right. And so I understand the confusion with that, but those who kind of listened to the heads up, we're doing okay.
Right.
Yeah, and I definitely did not have a smooth transition. There's actually still a transition happening right now behind the scenes. Whoa, what was that?
Sorry, that was my fault.
I was like, did I just say hello?
That was me playing your video.
So I think it's kind of hard because a lot of us were early adopters. So because of that, there was like a profile, and then you can have a page. Well, I created a page, but the profile didn't link. So now I've got a lot of Google Plus pages that are just roaming around. So, I mean, I'm actually working with YouTube to try to get that all resolved, and having multiple channels. I mean, that's been causing some issues. So it hasn't all been smooth, but it's really not as big of a deal, I think, as people are freaking out about once you get used to it.
Right. And to mirror that, there's a few, you can either link it to your profile, which is your name, and it gets rid of your YouTube username, like, youtube.com/whatever, and it becomes your Plus profile ID. Or you can create a page, which is what I ended up doing because I wanted managers and some other features like that, which we can actually get into in a little bit later. I think all of this conversation is sort of takes the tone that actually iJustine did a great video about the comments. So I suggest heading over to iJustine's YouTube page and watching it. Talking about, and it's I have to say, it's a tiny bit harsh saying, things have changed and there's nothing we can do about it.
Is that harsh? Is that harsh or is that reality?
No, that's reality. Yeah. Honestly, I mean,
it kind of felt like, but no, this is what I've spent time making on YouTube.
Yeah. Well, in general, people, and actually I went at it with another creator on Twitter briefly over the weekend, where he just flat out admitted that he made his anti-video just to complain and just to have others complain with him. I mean, there is a certain segment of people who come out of their little box. And whenever YouTube does something wrong, they're the ones heralding YouTube they hate us and they're gonna die and Hulu's gonna take over. And then
controversy views.
Yeah. And then 2 weeks later, people for the most part have forgotten this happened. I mean, is anybody talking about the big YouTube change with our channels anymore?
Yeah.
No,
That
they're
was
not.
yeah.
And the crazy part is YouTube actually had a bunch of creators, and I was one of them in a meeting with them discussing this. I mean, almost
Yeah.
like last year. And
Yeah,
a
same
lot
here.
of the features that they implemented, like the moderation, the banning channel lists, I mean, that was a lot of stuff that we actually gave them. And in return, they're like, all right, this Google Plus thing is going to happen. And we basically don't really have a choice. But because of that, we do have a lot of features. And we've created these communities where you want it to be a safe place. For example, the Fine brothers have children in their videos.
Right.
And their moderation process so that all of these things are not being said about children is insane. So this, for them, they no longer have to have like children have their lives threatened. And the comments, it's a mean, awful, terrible place. And if you can make that little tiny bubble in your world into something that is friendly and happy, like you wouldn't allow that stuff on your blog. I mean, this is just stuff that you don't want. So I don't know. I'm getting real fired up now.
Yeah. No, and